Okay, scientists, we are here in Discovery Education, and I'm excited. This week you get to do your first Discovery Education board. So I'm going to show you how you're going to use the boards that I made for you in Discovery Education. So to start, you're going to click on this link right here where it says Introduction to Viruses. When you click on that link, it's going to take you here, Introduction to Viruses. And this is a board that I made especially for you guys. So there's activities on here. So I'm going to walk you through what you'll be doing. It says complete each activity on this board and take notes in response to the prompts on a piece of paper. When you're done, you're going to complete, when you complete the Introduction to Virus worksheet in Google, or it's in your digital science notebook. There's an Introduction to Viruses. Okay. So then you're going to use the notes that you take today to help you answer the questions on this worksheet. You don't need to turn your notes in. So as you go through this worksheet, you're going to see here's an image of a virus. It says, check out this picture of the SARS-CoV-2 virus. This is a virus that causes COVID-19. And what questions do you have about the way it looks? So just look at this virus. This is what is the virus that's spreading right now that's making people sick. So think of some questions you might have about it, and you'll answer that in the Google worksheet. Play this little animation here. It's just going to introduce you to some parts of the virus. Don't worry if you don't hear anything. There's no sound. So while you're watching it, write down on your piece of paper, write down the parts of the virus that they talk about. On part 3, you can read this little article here, a passage about viruses, and be ready to answer the following 2 questions. Why aren't viruses considered alive? And why are viral infections so hard to treat? So this says influenza, Ebola, the common cold, HIV, AIDS, and measles. Viruses cause these diseases and many more. Some are serious, others not so much. For better or worse, viruses are a part of life. It surprises many people to learn that viruses live in us but aren't technically alive. Viruses can replicate only inside the cells of their host. A host can be an animal, plant, bacterium, or fungi. Viruses are sometimes confused with another family of germs, bacteria, but viruses are much, much smaller. Think of a virus as a tiny package jacketed in a protein covering. Inside is either DNA or RNA. Each molecule serves as an instruction book. Its genetic information provides instructions that tell a cell what to do and what to make. When a virus infects a cell, it sends the cell a simple message: make more viruses. In that sense, the virus is a hijacker. It breaks into a cell and it makes the cell do its bidding. Eventually, the host cell dies, spewing new viruses to attack more cells. This is how viruses sicken a host. The body can rid itself of many viruses on its own. Other viruses may present too big a challenge. Medicines to treat viruses exist. They are called antivirals. They work in different ways. Some, for example, block the entry of a virus into a host cell. Others interrupt the viruses as it attempts to copy itself. In general, viruses can be hard to treat. That's because they live inside your cells, which shelter them from medicine. It's also important to note that antibiotics do not work on viruses. So I'll read that passage and answer these questions, or you can reread it. Part 4 is, it says SARS-CoV-2 is the name of the virus that causes the illness COVID-19. Watch this video about the human virus, how the human virus infects the human body, and what parts of the human body does the virus target. And here's a passage about viruses throughout history. Read the article by clicking on this book about how viruses have affected humans throughout history. Write down 2 of the viruses that were discussed and how they impacted humans. Okay, so once you're done with all of that, head back into your digital science notebook, and you will head back into your digital science notebook and click on this link right here that says Introduction to Viruses Worksheet. Click on me and you'll answer some questions in there about what you learned on the board. And when you're done, make sure you come back into your notebook and head on to the next page. All right, let me know if you have any questions.